set in the house. Melvin comes home, the girlfriend doesn't come with him, and it's just that. And I was going to pay for it myself. I was like, I'm going to put $250,000 in, and I'm going to find another $250,000, and boom. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's when I decided to...
Hold on. He just said he's going to put $250,000 in.
That's crazy. So you're a multi-millionaire. Most people are like, I'm not even going to answer that question, but you're like, okay, that's cool. Now continue.
Yeah, that's cool. Continue. Sorry,
we like checking people's pockets in this generation.
Why you didn't check my pocket? You said multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? Check my pocket, you might come out light, brother. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean?
One. With the Marrakesh, Camel Harm. Don't make me prove I'm a Nanama. First night and I see her in the club. Got a pretty young thing in the travel lodge. I hate niggas with the bellies on. Don't make me prove I'm a Nanama. If you want beef, make a cattle card. I tell them all, pass me the zombie. Girl, I know you're on me and I'm on you, so don't say
Yes, hello. Shall we start?
I'm assuming like when you've done like interviews or conversations in the past, you've had some like very formatted intro and everything. We're not gonna start like that. Like we just like to have conversations with
Wicked. Should I put better music on then?
No, we're trying to be professional. Keep professional.
Somewhat.
I guess I wanted to start with like a conversation we were just having about you moving away. I guess you get this a lot, but you moved away from the UK and to people, to me anyway, I don't know about you guys, but to me, it seemed like you didn't just move away geographically, but you actually went away from the UK. It's like you were missing for a bit. Can you talk to us about that?
Yeah. I moved to America when I was 24. So that's like 2010. So I moved because you know, it was like there was nothing going on in terms of as an actor. You know, I'd done Kidulthood, I'd done The Bill, I'd been in Fallout, I'd done like Silent Witness, and there was a cap to what we were experiencing as British black actors. It just wasn't going to happen. And then before that, I always knew I was going to America anyway. So that was my reason for moving away. And then, you know, if one has followed my career, you'd have followed me doing, you know, a lot of work in the US, Maze Runner, Sense8, The Butler, you know, Red Tails, a lot of work in that arena. But my first job back was when Idris called me to do Yardi. And that was the first time I was like, all right, cool, this is like worthy of my time.
Yeah.
Other than, if we can't, I would challenge you guys, let's name a couple of really significant British films outside of Raps's Blue Story, which he asked me to be in, but I couldn't do because of timing. And John Boyega did one, Attack the Block.
Yeah.
So outside of that, what have we had in the UK?
Yeah. We can't even say stuff like adulthood because
it's an extension of, right?
Extension, yeah.
And Trif died.
And
I died when you cried.
No, I don't know. I can't think of any. But there's definitely a couple.
Go on then. God tried to tell me I don't know Kano when I came here. Go on then, bro.
There's definitely a couple. I can't think of any.
I'm telling you, as a connoisseur, there is none.
There's none.
There is none. You've got like little, you know, there's other films here and there. There's like a couple. When you say a couple, you're talking two. You're talking about The Intent.
Yes.
Right? And I did the classic Kidulthood, so.
Yeah.
And then, so to actually get the career that I have today, and for a lot of us, you know, I kind of was like, I was kind of like the tester. You go out there and test it and see what's happening. And then it's like, and everybody that's followed the career, especially actors, they're like, yo, the gate, bum rush the doors, like, man, da-da-da. And then everybody's gone and done exceptionally well, like a lot of talents we can name.
So do you talk to them boys? Like,
of course. Kalia, I was with Kalia the other day, I was with Tris. Like, so we're all kind of in communication, but there's not one project that we can name until Boxing Day, which is going to be, and obviously Reggie Yates has got his Pirates out as well, coming out on Friday. But Boxing Day, which is, it's kind of a monumental film in terms of you're bringing the American lady into a British world, and you've got a film that spans not only the diaspora, you've got Africans, you've got African Caribbean, you've got Americans, but also it's going to play in both countries. And it's the first of its kind in terms of something that's intended for the international audience and has distribution in both of those places. That's actually a historic moment. And from that point of view, then everybody, like any creative, can really bum rush the gates and start doing what they're doing. So that's why I left. But I did keep up with the music scene on the internet still, bro. Just then.
So when you were out there, then obviously you're in the US culture now, you know. And so talk to us about that shift into the US and how you've embraced that culture and what's that done for your kind of career as an actor.
He came with an American accent.
I had a twang there. And the crazy thing is,
hit him.
I had a cousin of mine, he went to America when he was like 17. He don't sound the same no more. Like, he sounds like he's like, y'all, how y'all doing?
I mean, man, you got to do what you got to do. You know what I'm saying? Play it. No, listen, I got a very British accent for someone that's lived there since I was 24. And I'm mad patriotic. Okay. I'm like patriotic abroad. Yeah. I'm like, yo, you don't know gigs? Yeah, but you don't know Top Boy?
I know what you're doing though, because I went to Miami, and the more British you sound, the better the reception. Because the gal out there is like, yo, who's this guy
I'm like
from
really,
London?
really, really good looking though, bro. So like from that standpoint, I'm good either way.
Do you still think you're good looking?
I still think I'm good looking. Yeah. What, did you think I was good looking back in the day? Oh, you had a crush. It's all right, man. It's all good.
You're not the only one. Not me, but there's a couple of others. Can I just take it back though? Because something you mentioned, obviously, like Kidulthood was huge. But for me, Kidulthood was huge. But for me, you made probably all the black homes watch The Bill.
Yeah.
Like, I remember that time. I was in school at the time. I can't remember what age I was, but The Bill was just all of a sudden mad interesting. Like, it was so sick. It resonated with us more.
It slapped,
fam. And then you went, and then all of us went to go and watch whatever else we were watching before. Coronation Street. No, never Coronation Street. EastEnders or whatever.
Emmerdale.
But what was that like? Is that
still going on?
I think Emmerdale's still going on. I'm hearing there's a crossover between three of them.
That whole...
I don't know this. Yeah, we're not that old. We're not that old.
I used to get miserable.
It's crazy you still remember the theme song though.
Yeah, but it's been the same theme song since forever.
It's actually a sad theme song.
It makes me feel like it makes me feel like I don't want to live it.
Yeah. Basically,
like depressing grey bits.
But what was it like though? Like at that time, knowing that like everyone was watching you on like a TV series. Like, what was it like interacting, going out? That's before social media, so I didn't even know what that's like. People are asking for autographs. Is it pictures?
Yeah. It was like, well, the couple of things, like it was real. It's like the last of what I call the last of real fame.
Okay, yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying? Because you're not. Someone can't get in contact with you. Yeah. They got MySpace, by the way. The MySpace was good.
Yeah.
Bit too old for you.
Yeah. He had one. He definitely had one. He was an MC.
How old are you, sir?
I'm how old am I again? I'm 29.
You're 29?
Yeah.
And you're tight like you haven't got age. Age, your mouth.
I actually have a MySpace
Big boy, you know. But no, for real, The Bill and Kidulthood was such a special time because you got like, Bill came out January 11th, 2006. And then Kidulthood was on screen March 3rd, 2006. And it was totally unexpected. I did not know that I had a feeling that it would do well, but I had no idea Kidulthood would go crazy the way it went.
Was Kidulthood out in cinemas or was it straight?
Cinemas, yeah, it was a cinema.
Yeah. Okay, because I must have just watched it I definitely watched the DVD.
Yeah, it's definitely been travelled as the years gone on. And then you got, but The Bill was amazing because it was hard, it was difficult because the culture wasn't established then. So, funny enough, we keep going back to this joke, but Kano's P's and Q's ended up in the show when I was leaving the show.
Oh, man.
And that was only because of the success of Kidulthood. But I went to that show and I tried to like do different stuff like, I'm not going to say mate, I'm going to say bruv or bro, or I'm gonna say wagwan. I want to wear a chain. I want to put my earrings in. I remember they could call me to the office like, Aml, can we have a word with you, please? I'm like, yeah, sure. Like, so there's this funny walk that you're doing while you're in the uniform, and they're like, do you mind turning it down a bit? I said, I'm not turning down the walk. But why? I said, you said he's a young black guy from the streets that came to become a police officer to do good in his community. Any black guy from the streets or from the ends or whatever, they are not. When you get into a certain environment professionally, you want to make sure when you're around black people, you turn up your extra black. Do you get what I'm saying? So it was exciting, man. It was very exciting. It was crazy out. I remember going to my sister's show in was it Wembley? Like she did a show in Wembley Town Hall, and I walked in there, and there's like 300. She was performing on stage, and 300 people start, oh my god, and just rushing towards me. I remember going to Birmingham and like shutting down the Strip. And I remember a girl goes, "You're not real. You're not real." Wait a minute, that's pointing in my face.
This is mad uncomfortable, you know. I can't even laugh.
And I've had that happen my whole life. Like, yo, Trive, you're that brother, innit? You're that brother, innit? Like you actually like. It's weird, isn't it?
Yeah, that's weird. That's weird.
So, I mean, magical time in my life. I'm actually happy that I moved away at the same time because it's like you get into an idea of as soon as you land in America. I realized like, oh shit, man, just normal. I'm not that buff, right? You know what I'm saying? Like, man, just normal. Like you know, I'm just walking through the mall, and it's like people it's just normal. And then it put that fire in my belly to actually be like who I want to be as an actor. Like, I didn't come here to do just achieve joke things. You know what I mean? I really came here to do as much progressive stuff and as much damage as I can do. Like a lot of my peers, even. Do you get what I'm saying? So that was my journey then, and it's a foundation that I feel very proud of.
Yeah. So what's it like as a British actor going into America? Because I feel like as a British actor here, a lot of people get more embraced when they go over to the States. So then talk us about like how you were received and the challenges that you had like, when you were out there.
I can't imagine that. Like, you go there, what do you do? Okay, so you're popping in the UK, but what do you do in the US? Because they've got popping people anyway.
Yeah, you must have to start small, right?
Even accents, like, you know, do they take you with your British accent? Do you have to go and put an American accent?
But so you're talking about 2010, it's pure American. In fact, when I used to go for auditions, they say, don't walk in there as a British person. They said the same thing to Idris when he did.
So what, you had to act like you were
American from the top, from the gate, because back then producers and stuff were very trepidatious about British people being like, oh, you're British. Do you know what I mean? But because we've established ourselves as good enough actors, we get work. I started again. There was nothing. All I had was my reel. So all of the work I did from The Bill, all of the work I did from Fallout, Kidulthood, Silent Witness, I had my reel, but I started again from scratch. It's not like this era now where the internet, where you're watching Top Boy, and so you'll see Michael Ward, for example, you might see him in that and go, he'd be great in an American movie because you're watching it in America. You know what I mean? It's a totally different, I think that probably changed around 2016. Just the internet and Netflix just changed the world. But for me, I started again. So it's like I'd come back home for the summers and I'm Aml Ameen, and I go back to LA and I'm just some guy. But I enjoyed, it's almost like I got to enjoy my youth in LA because I was known in this country when I was 19. And so you have, you're always juggling between the different realities. I enjoyed it. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Okay. We know. But other than that,
But I want to touch on just like actually getting this movie together, like Boxing Day. So it's mad. Like when I saw the trailer, I thought, mad, this is sick. Like this is sick. This is black British, UK. Rom-com, it seems like it's authentic in the sense like it doesn't seem like it's like like we're just doing this for the sake of doing it. But then I read that you directed it and you wrote it and some of it's about your life, and then the guys were telling me that like you basically spearheaded the whole thing, like you went to get the money to produce it and all of this and all of that. Like we have a show and we do it so small scale, but like we know how hard it is to get all the moving parts together to actually produce something. And our production sometimes takes like 6 months, so there's a lot of moving parts. So like, what is that? Number one, why did you even want to do all of that work? And number two, like, just talk us through that whole process, because it just sounds mad.
Yeah, I mean, first I'll say congratulations to you guys, man.
Thank you.
You know what I mean? Like, it's like, this is a Warner Brothers movie, and we're sitting in you lot's living room.
Yeah, man.
You know why? Because we need you. We need you. Like, we can't, I was very adamant that we can't be presumptuous about what we can achieve without the community. And you guys' voices are like just as important as mine, and in some ways more important to the people that look at you lot stuff. So we're in the bits with you because like we need you. Do you get what I'm saying? That's really important. It's pretty important to establish. So congratulations to you guys for real. And for me, it's. I think the honest answer is if you don't know, like, okay, you know my acting career, but if you did a bit of research on my filmmaking career, I've been doing like short films. And so when I went to America, I'd come home 2011, I made a short film called Drink, Drugs and KFC. And it's like the first time a lot of actors, like, do you guys know Samson Ko?
Yeah.
So that's his first job.
From Is it Bloodlands?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And then Kedo William Sterling from Sex Education, right?
Okay, yeah.
There's a lot of people, Aaron Fontaine, who's an actor as well. A lot of people's first jobs, and I came because I was like, one, I want to tell stories about the way I grew up, which is dynamic. Yes, I had my friends that more on that thing there, but also, I had a good family, so I wanted to show that. I also have a lot of ambition for us as UK people. I just think we're dope. I think we're the dopest culture on the earth because we're an amalgamation of. We've established Black Britishness, and we know what that is. Yeah. It's really nuanced, but it is not just Jamaican or Vincentian or Caribbean. It's not just Nigerian or Ghanaian. Yeah. It's not just Asian. Yeah. It's not just white Cockney, posh British. It's this whole thing that's just now us, and we're in like the Puff Daddy era. You know what I mean? We're in the Puff Daddy era. Like we are them man there that we grew up on. Like we are those guys, and so. I'm very passionate about being a part of that. I'm passionate about using my platform to push it forward. And I just think that's the reason for it. I want to see our culture. I'm very into us, I'm like a nationalist almost, but about Black British. Yes, I put it together. It was so the story is there was another movie. I've actually never told this part of the story. There's another movie I was meant to direct in 2018. It was called A Night Worth Living. It was based on a film I did called Drink, Drugs and KFC, but it's going to be set in America. Okay. So I had like a lot of really great talent, like Ryan Destiny. Do you guys know who that is? Ryan Destiny was going to be in it, and Keith Powers, and a lot of dope people that are American. Yeah. And then it was the producers of Get Out. Okay. We're financing it. Yeah. And we were there. We're like 1 week from getting it done. And then I'd announced it. I'd just been doing the Yardie press. I'm like, I'm going to direct. And then financing dropped. And I was just like, did the Yardie press. And then I had I'm really bad at depression. So I had 30 minutes of serious depression. And then I was just like, you know what, man? Just get onto it. Just get onto this. Yeah. And so I wrote Boxing Day, and I wrote it within a month. Man. Right? And it's not the Boxing Day you'll see. It was another Boxing Day, which was like me. It's much more contained. It was just when you watch you guys seen the movie? Yeah. So it's just it was just set in the house. Instead of set all around. Oh, okay. Just set in the house. Melvin comes home. The girlfriend doesn't come with him, and it's just that. And I was going to pay for it myself. I was like, I'm going to put $250,000 in, and I'm going to find another $250,000, and boom. Do you get what I'm saying? And it's when I decided to...
Hold on. He just said he's going to put $250,000 in.
That's crazy. So you're a multi-millionaire. Most people are like, I'm not even going to answer that question, but you're like, okay, that's cool. Now continue. Sorry, we like checking people's pockets in this generation.
Why you didn't check my pocket? You said multi-millionaire. You know what I mean? Check my pocket, you might come out light, brother. You know what I'm saying? When you're a multi-millionaire, you don't
carry cash.
Okay, cool. Not a thing anymore. I'm joking. But you lot are too jokes. Don't make me misbehave. I'm a cheeky fucker, I'm a cheeky guy. But no, it was a must for me. And we would talk. What was he saying? He was saying something specific.
You put some.
So I was gonna put some money. I put my money into it, and that's when my agents and everybody said, "You're fucking crazy. Stop." And I'm like, this film is getting made, and I'm gonna die on my horse. Like whatever it is, if I have to, I'll die on my horse doing it. You know what I mean? And so, funny enough, so I wrote the script and all the rest of it, and the rest is just gonna be a really bossy story.
Gan. We like that. We like that. I like that. I like that.
It's a bossy story.
Yeah. Come.
Some on a private jet going to Idris Elba's wedding.
Oh my days! What were you drinking on the jet? Was it
Just normal Prosecco. Just keeping it light, you know?
Okay.
Genuine on a private jet going to Idris Elba's wedding in Morocco. Right? So this is in 2019, April 2019.
Mad.
And I had a UK agent all these years. I was, okay. So I was on the plane with his agents, Idris' agents, who worked with him on Yardie, and we'd met, and they loved my performance and stuff. And I sat with them, and I just started telling my vision. This is what I want to do. This is what's important to me. I need to make this happen. And they were like, come to Death Row. Right?
Shouldn't that have you in the headlock?
Exactly. Come to Death Row. And I
That's
said,
funny. That's a good joke. That's slaps.
And I said, well, let's wait until Tuesday, because it's Thursday now. We're about to all get drunk and have a good time celebrating the big man.
Yeah.
And so we did that. And on Tuesday, they were serious about it.
Mad.
And I was serious about it. And so, I moved on from my last agents, and I went back to LA and told all my American team that, I'm with Death Row now. That's what I'm going to refer to me for that. I'm with Death Row, and they're like, "You're with Death Row? You didn't tell us." Panicking. And then they introduced me, my manager, as a last minute thing, because I was starting to, get rid of people. She's like, "Matthew Zamias. I have Matthew Zamias." I said, "Who's Matthew Zamias?" "I have Matthew Zamias. He will make your dreams come true." And if we look to the left, Matthew Zamias is that man right
Oh, you look like a Matthew Zamias, man.
You know the names, but it's just the name. The name says something. Like, yeah.
right? And so, she saved her life with Matthew Zamias, aka the Genie. And we sat down in LA, and he read the script, and I spoke to him about it, and he goes, "Is this one you want to make?" And then this bit's gonna annoy him. I said, "This bit's gonna annoy you, innit?" Which I did this to him all the time. He goes, "So what do you think?" He goes, "Like, I love the script, but he's like, dude, if you really want to make a big movie, you should just go and make the movie you want, because movies are really hard to make anyway. So you got to make the movie you want in your heart." And I was like, I like this guy. I like this guy. This is Matthew Zamias, the Genie. And so I sat down for a month and a bit, rewrote it. I think I was traveling back and forth. I wrote some of it at Soho in London, Soho Hotel. And then at my place, wrote back and forth, then presented it to my writing partner. We collaborate on a lot of things. And he went in, buffed up some of the jokes, some of the Americanisms, yada, yada, yada. And then we had the package, and then my agents took it out to the world, and eventually we met Damien Jones, who did Kidulthood with me, but I don't remember him from that. I literally don't remember him. And then there was, who else was there? And then Film 4 got involved, and then BFI heard about Film 4's involvement, read the script, and they did something they never do, which they're from script stage, but they said, "We're in," and then we started moving towards production, and then COVID hit. And then after COVID hit, it's like, what are we gonna do? And then it's like, we need this cast. And then I met, then we got greenlit, and then we started casting up. And then eventually Asia Naomi King, How to Get Away with Murder, then the dope cast. Then I flew to Los Angeles to sit with Queen Marion Jean-Baptiste, first of her name, Academy Award nominee, Queen. And she didn't want to do it because she didn't want to be in London during COVID. And then I said, "Look, I can't convince you to anything, so let's just sit down." I sat down with her 3 hours, like proper auntie, nephew type things.
But that was you working your way into it.
I was trying, I was working it, but also just behaving. Can't convince them, And then, I didn't know what she was going to do. And then 2 weeks later, she said she's coming, which shifted everything because, for the British, for all the financiers, her name is weight and gravy. And then finally came Leanne Pinnock.
Yeah. And this is her first acting role.
Yeah, she's never acted before, and to be honest, I didn't know who she was. I didn't know.
Sure.
For real, that's a real story. I didn't know who she was until.
Remember, he's been in LA, so he doesn't.
But you know what I realized? I hear her every day.
Oh, what? She just.
You're in the gym, you hear her. You're on the plane, you hear her. But this music that I didn't identify with. You know what I mean? So I didn't know. And in fact, it was true story. It was my writing partner, Bruce Purnell, who was like, "Man, I got this person, man. You gotta this girl, you gotta see her. And I was like, who's this, man?
Sick, man?
And he's like, man, she fly, she doing her thing in London. I'm like, okay, what? And then I looked at her and he goes, man, I'm telling you, man, this is a good one right here, man. I'm like, all right, Bruce, right, got it. He knows more about British culture than me. Everything more about British culture than me. Like, once he watched Top Boy, he was in. Like,
That's a big route in, though.
I'm in.
Yeah.
So I sat down, I auditioned her. Her first audition wasn't great. And then I watched an interview with hers where, like, she's got mad humanity as a person and feels shit. So if I can get that out of her, so we start workshopping, yada, yada, yada. And eventually she auditioned again and she was cold. And she was cold, and she's such a hard-working person. Like you all seen the movie?
Yeah.
So to get to that level of performance, where it feels honest and it doesn't feel like jarring, hopefully, then
I'm always skeptical about that, especially in the role that she played. Like, she was supposed to be pretty, supposed to be a superstar, and that was kind of what she is in real life anyway. So it's kind of like, to me, I'm feel like, oh, you just picked her because she's pretty and she's got a big name, basically, rather than her acting ability. But now you actually said that you've done workshops with her and everything. There is, like, you have to respect the art to an extent, as in, like, you can't just do it.
You're right, it's show business. So, the fact that she has name value, of course,
is good, yeah.
You want that. But that could also, fuck up the whole movie. Like, if you're just not good. Yeah. And I feel like, in the film, she gives a strong performance up against people that do it since they were young. You know what I mean? Like, heavyweight people. And I think she's got a career in it if she wants to.
So touching on that, Zizi, friend of the show,
man, like Zizi.
So she's on the movie. Like, how did that come about?
Salika.
I read that. Hey, shout out to Zizi, man. Like, she's on the show
working,
and she's got her own show on the show. And then she actually went to get her own show now with Channel 4. Do you know how sick that is?
But that's all me.
Yeah. What you do?
Every bit of that's me, right, Z? Yeah. Every bit of it.
Oh, isn't it Matthew Zalika? Matthew.
No. Matthew's got nothing to do with the story.
Okay.
For Matthew. Basically, I said to Zizi, we need to make this the Zizi Mills show. So we did like a big thing for her, BBC. Because her trajectory is crazy. And I'm like, I know you're about to get a show. I know that's going to happen. Yeah. So that's all her.
We are too, by the way. So just make sure
you're on Boxing Day too.
Boxing Day too.
Yeah, set in the Caribbean.
Yeah. Come. I can play that. Dreadlocks, everything.
Yeah, exactly. I want to love you. ZZ being in the thing was to me, if you're talking about like being name value, to me, ZZ. It's kind of an Avengers style movie. You've got Marion Jean-Baptiste, who represents the real weight and respect. Stephen Delane from Game of Thrones, who represents the weight and respect. Me, who has an origin here, but also has an international career. Asia Naomi King, who's American. Like, everyone's going. You want to hear some names? Like, everyone in America's going crazy for this film, especially the African American women. So Kelly Rowland comes running up to me during James Samuel's, he had a premiere, and Kelly Rowland comes on to me like, "Oh my God, I love your movie." She comes and hugging me. I'm like,
"What's she smell like, by the way?"
No.
I mean, everyone wants to know. Everyone wants to know.
No. Never will I comment on that. That's a married woman, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Respect.
Please. You know what I mean? But, she smells lovely. No, she came and she was like, raving about the film. I love the trailer, whatever. I love Leanne. I love Asia. And she was like, I can't wait to see this. And then you got Asia posting it, like Megan Good's interested in it. Like, there's a lot of heavy, like Viola Davis is championing it because they understand, like, intuitively, African Americans understand the importance of us supporting each other and the growth of the thing, because it just pushes culture forward. So, this film doing well, which we believe it really will, and even Reggie Yates' film doing well, is so important to the culture, not to take away from like the Kidulthoods, the Top Boys, everything must exist.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
100%.
Ceezy's got to do dope, but then you, man, have got to do dope. Do you get what I'm saying? And then it's just legacy.
Yeah.
Black excellence, baby. You feel me? That was American. Jay-Z.
That was Jay-Z.
Jay-Z.
Black excellence.
You tried.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's amazing. I think one thing that always sticks in my mind is what Black Panther did just for all of us, just like at an energy level. Like it must have been different in like the whole film realm, but for us at an energy level, it's like when I saw Black Panther, it's like I was like, okay, cool, we can make these massive superhero films that are for Black people. Why can't we go do everything for Black people? Why can't we have a talk show for Black people? Why can't we have cartoons for Black people? That's like what we did. And now you doing this, which is basically like a Christmas film. Christmas films have always been like a really big theme of films anyway, like the Home Alone. It's like they've almost got their own genre.
Everyone's at home at that time.
Exactly, like family films. And now you doing that, like a Black British, we were just talking about this before you came, a Black British Christmas film, like it's unique in so many different ways. Like, I want to know why you decided to do a Christmas film, because you could have just done a film.
True.
Why did you decide to do a Christmas film? And then why did you decide to make it Black British Christmas? That's like, you're like the first person to do that. Like, we were trying to think of another Black British Christmas film. It's hard enough to think of.
Think about a Black British rom-com, it doesn't exist.
Rom-com aspect.
Yeah, man. Because I decided to do it because my Boxing Day parties at my house are just crazy. You know what I mean? Like, we go from my auntie, Uncle Kirk's house, which is like this, into my mum's house, which is different.
In the UK?
In the UK. So I'm here every...
What's the address?
94 Church Lane. That's the very first address I ever lived at.
You're going to send me to some next one.
What's up, mate? You all right? But yeah, 94 Church Lane, that's funny. Yeah, but the reason was I wanted to do something that, like exactly what you said, it's like we're here, everyone's sitting at home, like what's that movie that you go to? Because if you're sitting down with your family, after you've done the Christmas thing and everyone's, you know, getting the itis and just falling asleep, it's like, what are you gonna put on? And, you know, for me, we're doing like Home Alone, we're doing like Love Actually, we might do This Christmas, we might put on Best Man. I'm like, you know, we have a very rich culture, Black British people. Do you get what I'm saying? So I'm like, it'd be dope to have something for us, you know, that's reflective of like African house, Caribbean house to a degree. You know, something popular and something that you could rewatch every year without like feeling like,
I can see that.
It's just rewatchable.
I can see people watching this in a few years' time.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah. So that was the reason for that. Yeah. What was your other question? You had another question. I don't think I answered it.
It was why a Black British Christmas film, but
instead of what?
Instead of just like a Black British rom-com, So
the Christmas bit is because that's when I come home usually, and the rom-com element is because I like rom-coms. I like rom-coms, and also I just drew from my life, like, you know what I mean, like, you know, like just family stuff, you know, the father and son stuff. You know, really, really famous ex-girlfriend who's a R&B star. Like,
wait, that's really your life?
Huh?
That's really your life? Who is it? It's not Kelly Rowland.
It's not Kelly Rowland. But in any case, why did you...
No, it's not Kelly Rowland. Yeah, you're looking to get me gunned down when I get back to LA, innit? Husband and everything, you know. Her and Jay-Z's husband and Jay-Z and their dope friends and all that. I want no part of that. I want no problems. It's like, it wasn't Kelly Rowland, was it?
Sorry. You say you're drawing from your life, yeah?
You're drawing for my life.
Yeah, drawing from your life. Obviously, some of it's real, some of it's like written or whatever. Why would you lips your ex
And
outside? He wrote this down. So it's got to come from somewhere. If it's not you, it might be, you know, my friend did this one time. Exactly. So why are you lipsing? No, firstly, I get why she was at the dinner or the Domino's game or whatever because of the family or whatever. But why to choose to lips her there?
Look at him smile. Look at him smile. Look at him.
There's always a way to do these things. So I'm not even promoting anything, but just like, do you know what I mean? It's just silly.
What do you say? I don't know what you're saying. I'm not
okay, so my question is,
why did
you choose to lips her there? Number one. And number two, yeah. If you were trying to get your girl back, would you do all of these like grand gestures? Like, I don't know if all of that stuff works.
And at the
they
point,
said it in the film, it was like it's playing on like the Love Actually thing, innit? Yeah.
But like, what would you do that in real life? Is that something?
I do that?
Yeah, because you're drawing from your real life. So these are two things that you potentially did.
Yeah, you're right.
When you say you're drawing from your life, you know you put yourself in the film.
I'm happy to hold that. Any woman that's been with me knows how I act.
Oh,
you know?
okay.
And there is no circumstance where I would be silly or stupid enough, to stand in the garden and allow that to happen to me. I'm not going out like that personally.
Yeah, okay. I'm just making sure.
Thank you. I know
certain
you
people
like,
make decisions and that's
for all the man them out there, don't do that. Right?
Don't bring your ex around your new babes. Number one.
But you can't help some of them ones.
I think you can personally.
So hold on. In the movie, the ex-girlfriend is best friends with my sister. And I done told the sister, yo, don't bring her.
Understand.
And then the sister is truculent by nature, right? So she comes in and says, I'm just causing pure turbulence. What am I then to do about that in that situation?
Do you know what it is? Yeah?
Get out.
A certain man, and there's a certain man in this group, in our group, that do this. Don't go out with someone that's your sister's mate.
You just separate them.
What about if they become friends? Because I always imagine they became afterwards. Like that, you've been there.
Then it's the sister's fault. This is
But listen. So they, Melvin and Georgia, they grew up together. Yeah. So they grew up together, and then they got into a relationship when they were like in their, let's say, like mid-20s or early 20s.
Yeah.
Then they break up. Then the sister who's grown up with.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's not what you're gonna do.
Yeah, I get that. Okay, so why did he kiss? Why did you kiss her?
If you check it, if you rewind back on this thing, he doesn't actually kiss her.
Oh.
Okay. We'll have to check that.
Check it. Let's move on for now then. Boiling hot water. Go on.
Okay, cool. How do you, like, one thing I always think about is how people define success. And I get like with like films and that, you're looking at like the box office numbers and maybe like the way people speak about it.
Yeah.
One of the things that we're always looking at, because we got good numbers, but there's always better numbers, but we get, in comparison to most people, we get really good qualitative feedback. Like people come up to us and like, we love this, blah, 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 blah. How do you define success for this film? Like what does it look like for you? Is it just about the numbers and how much money it pulls in, or is it something more? Because I feel like you did this for the culture. So how is the success defined in those kind of?
That is a phenomenal question.
Thank you. I wrote that down yesterday.
Did you?
Yeah. I refined it a couple of times.
Well, it's a great question, man. It's a great question because it's something I was even thinking about on the way here. Like, what do I define as success? I think that the best thing to define it as is impact. It's impact and a cultural event, a cultural moment. And not just for Black British people, that's where it comes from first, but for British people as a whole. I'll tell you for why. We can watch the film Love Actually. We can watch the film Home Alone and love it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's got nothing to do with our culture.
Nothing to do with our culture, nothing to do with race. We just love it. It's universal.
Yeah.
Boxing Day is universal. And I think it would be a great moment for the culture to have that win where everybody goes, you know what? That's our British culture too. I relate to it. I know a friend like that. And I just understand what it's like to be in love or trying things out. So that to me is the triumph of the movie. But a part of that is also people going out and seeing it and you know, people going out and watching it and championing it. Like, you know, on the weekend, I would put it upon you guys to look at it as a part of your success. Do you get what I'm saying? When I mean that is that, like, Boxing Day doing phenomenally well, which we all believe it will do, helps this.
100%.
Because I've been on this now. Do you get what I'm saying? I've been sitting here. But not just that, it qualifies and quantifies us in other spaces. So when you're going to get your deals of what you guys are doing, which hopefully you've done already, it goes, do you know, we get it. We get 100%. It. It's about the business end of it. It affects the cultural end of it. Because if our people do not show up for a moment, and then our people's people, do you know what I mean by that? Our people's people and people that don't show up for a moment, then it messages to people that actually have financed my vision or you guys' vision doesn't really work. And I think it's time to put a stop to that. The feedback is only the street movies work. That's what they're saying. Only the street movies work.
Yeah, so that's what we want to keep doing, basically. Yeah.
But the audience are fatigued.
Yeah, 100%.
You know what I mean? It's
for
like
a while.
been fatigued. Like, where is our Love Jones?
Yeah.
Where is our best man? The audience are fatigued, and so the audience is you man, you ladies, you women, you aunties, your uncles, your grandma. On that opening weekend, we have to look at it like how we saw Black Panther, but a nationwide thing. We are going out and we're gonna go support this movie. We're taking our family to. We're gonna see it twice if we like it. Once if we don't, but twice if we like it. We're gonna put our money where our mouth is because our culture is important and it must be globally seen, and the specifications of that culture must be heard and validated. Otherwise, all we would have ever been is that.
100%.
And that is who we are as well. Don't get twisted. We love that. Especially as we go up into different areas of our life. We love being able to like walk into a boardroom and go, yo, well gone. They're like, I'm like, no, well gone. You know it, say it, you know it. You like your fucking patties, don't you? Fucking well gone, right?
But there's more to it.
But you get what I'm saying? We love that, but we're everything. We're human beings. And this is like I said, we're in the puffy era. I don't know why I keep calling it the puffy era, but as of today, it's the puffy era. It's time for us lot to show everybody what time it is globally because the world is watching. Do you get what I'm saying?
It's a good time to be a content creator because there's so many platforms out there to go and put what you have and showcase. And it's crazy. Even the scale that we're at, it's good to go and see people from like Nigeria or America that come through and watch and support what we do. And just to have that global scale is just like, it's amazing. It's like, it feels like the world's your oyster for the first time now.
I'll add one thing and it answers, I think, your question in more detail, but now and it's sparked by what you just said. Like, so you guys get an audience, right? And a dedicated audience. And as an actor, you know, Maze Runners does what? 100 million this opening weekend. And so millions and millions of people see it. Sense8, that's like, I don't know, it's crazy. Like 50 million people see my face. Inside Man 2 on Netflix in America, 10 million opening weekend. So people see my face. But my younger brother, Aml Ameen, who's a music artist and a rapper, dope, sick. He does albums every year and it's seen by a particular group of people, right? And I'm always jealous because he has got a chance to have his pure art, his thoughts, his mind, his thinking, his feelings. You know what I mean? Like what you guys are doing, this is yours. And as an actor, it's great. You get to play amazing parts, and I love that. I'm playing Martin Luther King right now in a Netflix movie.
Congrats on that, by the way.
Thank you very much, man. So that's dope, right? But at the same time, I would not be giving up Boxing Day for that. There's no way, because you're getting a full feeling of like my creative endeavors, what came from my imagination. It's a different level of pride. It's yours. You know what I mean? And that's also what it was for me as well, just having that feeling of like, there are different parts to me other than just being an actor. You know what I mean?
No, I think it's sick what you said. I think this movie is it for us. I mean, we've watched you grow up. We're younger than you, but we've watched you like go on to do like big things, and like it's always sick when we see someone that felt like, looked like us and talked like us, and they've gone off to do massive things and to come back and have this massively produced film. Like it's ours, basically. It feels like it's ours, innit? And I think it's really on
It
ours.
doesn't feel like it's yours. It's yours.
It is ours,
I literally have been saying that during my whole press run. Like I give the film to you. So honestly, if you feel like, that bit shit, I don't believe that. I don't care. It's yours, innit? Like, it's yours. You. But show up to your family's party.
100%.
Do you get what I'm saying?
100%.
I don't really feel in my cousin
100%.
right now.
But
show up.
But the good thing is that the party is good. The movie is good. It's a good movie. It's funny. It's got everything you want in it. It's it speaks to certain things that people want to see, and I think personally I think it's going to do well. I think it's on us to bring out the younger generation and that, because they might not be as familiar with seeing you from on the streets in Kidulthood and then the bill and all of that. And then obviously get the elders involved as well. But yeah, man, wish you the best on the movie, man.
Thank you so much, guys,
it's
man.
amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
I want to ask about the directing and then the producing and the producer can actually help you answer this question. But what is the difference between what you guys do? I guess you've kind of done it all now. You've been the actor, you've been on several sets, you've seen the different roles. What does a director do? What did you do as a director for this film? And then what does the producer do? And then what does an executive producer do? Like, what are the different parts going on?
An executive producer in the film space is usually the finances, right? The producers handle basically everything from creative to finance, and they oscillate between, they're like a bridge gap between both things. They're responsible for the film being delivered, right? And so, you might have a director that's a completely creative mind and doesn't care about the fiscal aspects or how things work. I don't happen to be that person, but you might have that. And in that, the producer becomes even more key in making sure that things are delivered on time and all the rest of it. And as a director, what I learned the most, it's a service job. You think it's the boss job, but you're really in a position where every single person has a question for you and you have to find an answer. Even if you don't have it in that second, you have to find an answer. The director is the battery of a set. A director makes or breaks a set. They say the lead actor does as well. You could be a lead actor that can be challenging, you know what I mean? So that relationship between the lead actor and the director is very key. So I had that relationship with myself very well. I mean, I would look at them, you good today? Yeah, you good today? But then I had to make adjustments. Like there's certain things that you get as perks you get as a lead actor that you don't get as a director. You know what I mean? Like the directors, like, especially on your first film, they're like, you go make this fucking happen, Sham. Yeah. Do you know what I mean? And if you're an actor on that, it's like, you get a lot of cookies and bread and shit like that. A lot of like, oh, what do you need? Oh my God, you're so amazing in that last shot. You know what I mean? But as a director, they're kind of like, you know what I mean? Yeah.
Okay.
But no, thanks for coming through.
Thank you guys.
We're gonna wrap up now.
Bless up.
It's been good to have the conversation. It's sick to be sitting next to you, to be honest. Like I'm not one of them fanboys, but like just in terms of
why do we have to say that stuff?
It's true.
I just
that was his pride.
That's what I'm saying.
Hey, let's not get into this right now.
No. You know why we should get into this?
Why?
Because we can break the mold. I'm not even joking.
I said I'm a fan. I just said I'm not a fanboy.
Yeah, but we don't even need to say that.
Why did you make the distinction?
What's your name?
I'm a Capricorn.
You'll be better. I'm a Capricorn.
I don't know if
I'll teach you. We'll talk after.
But anyways, thanks for having you.
I appreciate being here, and I appreciate you lot putting me into this kind of vibe. And
appreciate that, man.
And I know you lot are gonna fucking continue to smash it, man. It's gonna be mad. The only thing I'm disappointed is you didn't make me a cartoon. You know what I mean? I came here to be a cartoon.
We'll do something.
Please.
We'll draw you. I will draw.
You draw?
I've never drawn in my life, but I'll draw you.
He can draw you. He can draw you. The beads and everything. It's calm.
But you man, big up for being here.
Thank
I
you,
appreciate it.
man.
I'll come back anytime, man.
Thank you, bro.
If you have me. Peace out.
Yeah. Thanks. Bless.
Sweet.
Back to the fanboy thing, I wonder why we do that.